Welcome all late into the day. Welcome to another stream where I try to work on the Newgrounds playlist generator. A little later than I usually stream. I was a bit pissed off today, so the school system wanted to piss me off today, so yeah, it's a bit later, but I don't care. So what I've been doing in the meantime, I've been doing quite a bit of things at school actually, is I've been trying to make my unit test, and the biggest thing I changed actually is the way I figure out how an MPEG header is found, right? So if we go to byte utils, you can now see I changed, the code to use this. It's like literally 3 lines of code. Basically, I'm checking if it has an ID-free header, and if so, check for the check sync. See, okay, byte 0 is equal to 0xff. Basically saying, is the first byte equal to the maximum value of a byte, and the second byte masked with the 224 value is equal to 224. And what that means is basically check if all the bits are set for that whole collection of bits, and if so, check sync is correct. So therefore, check header or check sync will give you the thing, because not both aren't necessarily required. One of the two has to be required. So yeah, I changed that a bunch, but for the rest it's practically the same. It's just a bunch of unit tests that I wrote to make my life easier, I suppose, right? But yeah, so that was like the biggest thing. But I'm still writing unit tests. I'm almost done. I just have to do song artist logic a little more. So that's what we're going to do. I guess theory, I don't know. Do any theory? Who knows? Inline data. Public void. Okay, let's see here. In song artist logic. Right here, it says I've tested everything, but I guess I have, just in general, tested everything, but the for each isn't being tested. Well, I think that's just because there aren't any. There's not more than one, maybe? I don't know. No, I think we have done everything. It's just for some reason the artist and song things are stating that I haven't. So I actually think we're done with the unit tests. Which is huge, obviously. Don't have to worry about that for the rest. And we can just move on to the next task that we have. Well, after I put everything in here, let's go through it all. Okay? Change this to have... Yeah. That's something I changed in these because... while a record is nice, I like to have a bit more control. Records to classes and implemented iEquatable and iComparable in the base classes. There we go, very simple. What I add here? Added a count property to access class, which means I guess these. No, this is like a bunch of new stuff. A bunch of fixes. These are all new things, really? Damn. Yeah, I'll just do that, sure. Artist access. I changed this to be, yeah. Changed artist table to have name as unique. Song access. access. So artist access. Added get by song and get by artist to song artist access. Okay. So now, what are we doing next? Okay, so this is the logic files. So let's do that next. Created new artist and song artist logic. Classes, static classes. Use the DAL. Fixed by utils properly check for MPEG header. There we go. Listen, this shit you can't really test. No matter how much logic this actually is, it's just not testable, you know? So let's do audio player next, maybe? Or is there something else I can do? String utils. Truncate method more null safe. Or more null safe. Add a date with guard method for artist. And null checks other guard methods. Right? Then what else do we have? Sound utils. Yeah. For calculating audio based data. Asynchronous audio player static class for playing audio and getting a provider, a sample provider. Okay, now these two created disposable provider and gain sample provider for disposing and applying gain to other iSample provider objects. Boom! Commit notice changes. Now it's all the tests. Added and updated unit tests. Added test data to database. There we go. So now we're back on par here. I basically done all the unit testing we need, so let's just continue, I guess. Let me set up the task of what we need to do. Remember, I don't have much time to actually technically be on time with this. I'll keep you aware of how much time I actually have, which is nothing. If I can find it real quick. Yeah, that's if GitHub wants to load at all and not be a dick. But it's being a dick. Yeah, that's totally not what GitHub looks like, but okay, sure. The entire thing is just broken, but okay. I mean, it loaded, I guess. Projects. There we go. Spring Date NG playlist. Okay. So, looking at our tasks, we have one more for view song, thank God. Because this one has taken so long. So we did this entire thing, right? I already filled all that in. So, I mean, we've gotten the worst out of the way. Okay, so this is what we have to do next. And I still can't mark anything for the user story. I know, crazy, right? Done all this shit and none of it had to do with the user story. So, to start off, we need a main menu. See all these. We're gonna make a new class called mainMenu.cs. I'm gonna say namespace presentation. We're gonna do public class main menu inheriting from menu. What do I have to implement? So we have options and a header, right? The main menu thing I can just keep. That's just how it should be anyway, so. Inherits from menu. Display option to search for a song and logout/return depending on if the user's logged in or not. Yeah, because that's, I'm pretty sure you can access that. So, okay, either way, that's going to be menu option dot create options. So basically, we're going to need a prompt and an action. So we're gonna need to have a search song, and then just simply a logout/return. Okay, so that's gonna be one of those things of like, we're gonna have to update this, kind of like, I think this be better as like just a simple get. So we're gonna say option array of size. Let's just do this. Well, no, because you would have to extend it, so I'm gonna do 5 for now. Okay, so int total options equals, we just have like a private const base total, which is an int equals 5. Well, base total options. Equals plus okay. Options. Okay, now okay, so this is going to be user is the user no question mark. Yeah. If that's not null, we're gonna say 1, otherwise 0. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then we're going to say options well, really you just have like an array, right? So like we would say like option 0 equals new menu option. I mean, for now, all you would have is like a search a song. Search for now, I guess. Options 1 equals new menu option. Again, it's going to be say options 1 equals option log out, and then maybe options. I guess you can say options dot length -1, which is up arrow 1, because otherwise that's 1 equals create return option. This dot create. I feel like you can make this cleaner though. Because this is a whole lot just for like you could also maybe say like options is the user is not null question mark followed by menu option create options song. Search. Oh boy. Log out. And then create return option. Because it creates a menu option. Oh, that's the thing. The easier way you could also specify a default. This would just be this create turn option. Right. So you just have things that repeat. You just have like some okay. I should say private menu option return option. So that you can then do as this, then say menu option log out versus new menu option, or just this dot create return option. So this ternary is going to simply just do that, right? That's all it's going to do. Because then all I would need to do is I would just say, hey, this, and say menu dot create options, or not really create options, but just just do this, and then new menu option, search a song, followed by search song, and then return option. Oh yeah, this dot return option. Okay. But I do inherit doc for now, just to see what it is. It gets an array of options. That can be selected for this main menu, or for the main menu. Oh yeah, because private is irrelevant in this case. Fair enough. Yeah. The header would be is not user is not null question mark welcome, or hold on, this one's gonna be this. This will be welcome this dot user dot name. Yeah, that's going to be our header. What is it originally? Get the header of the main menu UI. I can spell. It's before private again. Right. Okay. Now we're going to do a private void log out, which will have nothing for now. And same here, private void search song. Perhaps just move this up. Yeah. Okay. No, this would be it pretty much, I think. UI, I guess. Okay, then we can the base total options is now irrelevant because I'm just doing it with a ternary. Because it's practically the same thing, right? Extendability. You could also do a switch, I guess. Stating like, oh hey, this is it's gonna be one of these scenarios. Like later on, maybe if you have like for example, the user has different roles. What you can do is you can turn this ternary into a simple switch, which switches the user's role if it exists. Because if you do user question mark dot role, I'm assuming, well, you couldn't do that. If user is null, then you have to be able to, you know, deal with that. And then you then like per thing show what it is. And you have like a base options that every user has, and like, you know, that kind of work like that. I guess you could also specify them separately, and then no, because that's pointless. But whatever, we have the menu, right? We have whatever it tells us to do, which is to inherit from menu, display option to search for a song and log / return depending on if the user is logged in or not. Then we have a void search song. Ask the user to enter a search term. If it's empty, the user returns to the main menu. Otherwise, the results menu class is called, which is our page menu. It's called the results. Yeah, okay. So, we're going to have to say, let's validate, what is it? I think it's user, no, it's input helper dot validate. Enter a search term to search for a song, search for songs. and then input logic.is not empty. Can be empty. For the rest, I don't think there should be any validation. And there's also a center. Oh yeah, I forgot how this works. So you have a message, and this is the API kind of how it works, right? You have a message, you have the validator, and you also have the setter, which will set a certain value. That's kind of how it works, right? The setter would set. Yeah, you need some type of thing to set, basically. I guess you don't really need a setter in this case, though. Because, like, why would you need a setter? You're not setting anything. You're just calling something. Having this validate method can theoretically be summed up as simply just like you can make just a thing here, t value, which just takes in the string message, and a func string validation result, t value validator. This is just going to return validate given message validator, and I guess underscore that works. Can you default? It's an action. An action that doesn't return anything. How do you make a setter default? I mean, that's a way. Well, we're still setting it, right? So I guess you could have like some type of value, you return that value. So instead of just doing void where you set something, it returns something. So instead of this, let's say, this is the easiest way to do it, right? You have a string value, or we'll have a t value, and we'll say this. Can I do that without brackets? Guess I can. Yeah, because that would just be this. Return value. So this, when we just return the t value instead of so there's no setter or hide. Hide is useless here for now. So equals default if value, I guess you can say argument throw ignore empty value. That does not work because it takes a string as an argument. Okay, that works. Yeah. Because it shouldn't be null, so you can just throw an exception the moment that happens. Because that's just impossible. It's like an impossible scenario. And I think when it's an impossible scenario, you should throw an exception. Because it's like, at that point, it just shouldn't happen. Like, yes, it stops your program, but otherwise a whole bunch of other shit would go wrong. Like, this is easier for the programmer to be like, oh, okay, that's what went wrong, you know? And returns the value. Yeah, it just returns the value. With returns the validator. So now we have a validate. Here. Then we don't need to specify this, and we can just say string. Like, if we don't have to show it, we can just do that, right? Search. Well, again, yeah, no, it's like the idea here is that it's an input that you give. If you're wrong, it will just exit, right? Like that's the idea. It's the idea of this just has one purpose, which is to validate. And as soon as that ends, I mean, I guess here you could also just say like, if search is search, then you can just say you can say this dot move to next new page menu the viewables. That's going to be song logic.get by search. Like that's all it does. Like it just validates, and after it's done validating, it'll check if it's, you know, passed, and then does it. You can capture it in variables and then use it, but you can also just do it like that and then say like confirm, and then if you confirm your option, then yeah, but this isn't a thing of confirming. This is more just like enter something and it will call something else. Right? There's like two scenarios to that. But I think this one works. Right? Right? You just have to make sure that in register menu is such that they call, like if you register, you're just going to say this dot move to next, new main menu, and that's it. Login menu, same thing. If you successfully logged in, yeah, return, and then also say this dot move to next. What? Move to next, new main menu. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Actually, I just realized in user access, we're also gonna have to do unique because every name is unique. Which means in the database, we're gonna have to change that too. Now it's unique. You cannot have the same name twice. That's just nicer. Okay, so let's let me test it now. No, I don't think this is going to test correctly. Give me a moment. Now it should work. Oh, I didn't add a console clear, so it's gonna still. Okay. Give me a moment. Okay. Okay. Alright, so if you log in, Sean, and alright, let me see here. What did I add? Like the second one, because that's the one that matters. Let's say Joe, and you do password test at here. Password test at here. Excuse me. Oh yeah. No, I know why. Password test 1. Boom. I definitely should change the way that works. I'll have a different like error message for each one, because then it's a lot more clear to the user. Okay, well, first of all, that did not do it correctly. And this take you back to this, but that shouldn't be the case because this should be taken off the stack. The move to next is there, but I don't want you to go back to this page. Oh yeah, did I have something for that? Either way, I just messed up anyway, because in login, it now does it anyway. It should only do it if it succeeds. So in login, menu, this should only happen if this word being the case, right? And I think there was something I did in menu that allowed you to like ignore the menu stack, right? Here we go, yeah, so push the stack. I wanna, yeah, so this one, does it do this? It does this when move to next happens, yes. So what you can do is, we're gonna do this register menu as well. It's like when we do this, make sure you protected override, push the stack. So we're basically going to turn it off with push to stack. Right? That's one thing. Let's do the same thing in login menu. Also, I feel like I'm missing some, yeah, because it wasn't the correct data, that's why. Yeah, no, so there's nothing wrong. I'm just a dumbass. If I now run it, so we're on the start menu. So start to log in again. By the way, if I go back to the start menu and log in again, it seems to work fine. Okay, good. Let's try a different one this time. That may actually work. Let's try Jane with. No, I don't think any of these work. So I have to. By the way, this resets every time, so that's good. Start new account. Hello guys. Hello at there one. Confirm. Hello at there one. And then you get sent over here. Although that's not working. Because it's not. Okay, so that's obviously not working in the slightest. Why is that? I mean, there's obviously a reason to why it's not working, but I gotta figure out why. Main menu. Oh, is not no, As if it is null. No? That means that it's somehow not set. Did I not set it when I log in? Or do register? Because that's why I did it. No. That's why. No, I see what the problem is. Static. Because we're making a new instance every time, so it doesn't actually remember the user. I mean, this is like, again, what I'm saying, this is like, I think a very ideal pattern for like a menu system, right? Okay, let's do it again. So I just type in like hello app there one, confirm hello app there one, right? So just on and log out. Okay, there we go. This is no functionality. Say like hello. I just type in like F. For songs. Okay, that moves you to the next one. I honestly think I should change the header. Just because right now it only just says page 1.1. Also, F gave you... Yeah, I guess that would make sense. Like that gives you all the results because it's a really simple search term, right? Okay. To be fair, I'm just thinking about this now. I should give you a boolean. Yeah, I think an input helper might be better to do the idea is they have like some type of out parameter and also a boolean. So return a boolean to say that it succeeded. So like returns false otherwise, slash returns. Yep. I was kind of thinking maybe an out key value. This wouldn't work then. So that would be bool result string error. There we go. Result. Maybe. No. Big value would be test. Yeah. If I do this, well, I mean, again, shouldn't be null. This will return a value, but we don't need this if it already does the out stuff. And then I can say this is going to be value, the result of the function. Now, the value returned by a validation function, or just call this like validation value. Okay, yep. And I can just say more like value, I think. Because then you can say out string search. Then you don't need this. And you don't need a setter. Well, the thing is, if you do it like that, yeah, see the problem with doing this is that you would sometimes set it to null, which is obviously not the point. The point is that you do give a setter, and that's why input helper having another one is good, because that would mean we have another way of doing it. Right, so if we do this, let me just do this and we say return validate message validator or that out there's going to be no setter, so just a more clear thing, and then hide, I guess. Hide is hide, which means setter is pointless. Right, so Although I think count is also pointless to do in here. Because that's the point of the setter. The setter does that already for you, so better to do this, say t value turn result right. We'll just say value equals b. We could say inner value equals default. Make sure this is that. And then we can say inner val equals b. Result equals right. And you could say value equals inner val, and then return res. Kind of go back and forth like that, right? I mean, that makes sense to me. And then to give it a value so we can. I mean, it's already gonna be. No, it's not gonna be thrown in here. Should I throw it though? Because like sometimes these things can be null, and then yeah, it's kind of hard to say. I just keep it the way it is. Yeah. You can do a string question mark, but like I feel like it should never be null in the first place, right? It just shouldn't be null, but you have to keep it null at first, so you just have to make sure argument null exception dot throw if null inner value name of value. What do you mean? I guess because I did. Okay, but no, that's not a problem, so that should be fixed. Any other exceptions that are going to happen? Or some file errors? Nope. So again, just do like hello guys, and oh shit. type in F. Gives you all these results. And then you can return to main menu. And type in F again. Takes you here again. Say I'm in HLL. Ah yes, an exception occurred because you have to capture the results. So we have to say song array song is equals song logic.get by search. Search. Print error. No results found with search. And then do an else if. It's a song array songs, yeah, because otherwise you're going to get an exception. You can probably make this into like a way better like thing that does it all for you in terms of finding search results. So checking if it's empty, and if not, then running it. It's always possible for any search term because we're going to be reusing that a lot most likely. But yeah, let's try it again. This. I'm gonna enter again. Let's get you all. How? Haunted. Let's see what the ID is. Release date, duration, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Artists, short music, songs, haunted. Artists, short music, songs, haunted. It works. Oh my god, that's a beautiful sight to see. And we've made the recursive loop without making it recursive. Oh yeah. Like say one here. What if I want to go back, right? You currently cannot go back in time. So if you're here, you're kind of just stuck, right? That's something we're gonna have to change soon, but for now, let's not worry about that. I mean, this is all search song is. It's very simple and to the point. But to be fair, I want to make a search class that does this for me. Like search utils or something. Like this is something I plan to reuse a bunch. make like a search. Namespace presentation. Search helper. Search term. Handle search. String search. Okay. A viewable array viewables equals still need to use a type T, it seems. But we're going to restrict it to be where T viewable T, and then for viewables I'm gonna say, oh yeah, I just throw in like a method. So let's do a func. What is this func? Like for example, get search. I think it's you pass in a string as input, and you get an iViewable array as output. Viewable T array. Searcher. Search. So if viewables.length is equal to 0, well no, okay, no, it's that's a delegate, I guess is what I would say it is. Private delegate. Func string. Well, yeah. But you also want to check if it's null, right? So you need some type of function that handles the viewing or the searching of it, but also for the input. Right? We should rather, we just need a string message. So we get a string search equals input helper validate message, and then validator is input logic dot is not empty, most likely, and make sure that it's there. There we go. Sure, throw those down. Add file header. Boom. Success, and then out string search. Boom. There we go. That's the only thing we need, right? So what you can do is say you have, so we have this main menu, right? Okay. Yep, there we go. And then this. Oh, you would also pass in the menu. I guess you wouldn't need that because you can just see. Oh, yeah. Let's say menu this. Add this. There we go. So I can say add this. That'll move to next. So random search. You can't use move to next because it's inaccessible due to its protection level. I'd say pass in a func. Is that a func? I don't even know. Menu app is. What is this exactly? It's void, so it's an action taking in a menu. Menu chainer. We'll go with that. Menu chainer. I'm seeing action page menu in specific of type T. Which is going to be of not get by search because we already did that. That's the searchers, that's the viewables. Yeah, page is 0. It's initialized as 0. You could do that another way, most likely, but still. I think I have one that's like private. Could. Oh yeah, public static void. And we'll search. And then it should just be documented. Else if not success. Or actually else if success. We're already going to get an error message for it anyway. Handles searching for a entered search term for any viewable object. Okay, the type of viewable object. Just to display to the user, and the searching function to the for the current menu. for a static class for search based searching or search results. Might change that to something else later, but for now it's a search helper. Okay, the main menu, all I would have to do now is say instead of this, I'll just say search helper dot and we'll search. Enter a search term to search songs. Song logic dot get by search, and this dot move to next. So again, it's an API where we have a message, searcher, and a menu chainer. And that's all we need. It's as simple as that. Print, so input helper dot print success. This really add the account. Yep. The account. User dot name. We don't want to be printing fail to log out. I think that there's another one of the situations where I'd take argument no exception of row if null makes more sense. Because it shouldn't ever be null. I mean, you can validate it, but why would you? You can throw an exception saying that this shouldn't even have happened in the first place. Okay. That should work. Maybe. I hope it works. Some of you do like otherwise. Show up computer. Hello and there one. Hello and there one. And search for a song. Say F. And say empty. What happened? What happened there? No, that's in logs.json. Let's see what I got this time. Import helper line 54. Import helper line 54, huh? Oh yeah, because I didn't know, and I guess the inner value was null because it was never set. Then it kind of has to be null. Then it has to be nullable. Which means in search helper, I'm gonna need to string question mark search. Sure, you just say string not empty to handle the null reference. And then it should work. Should work in theory. So, register. Okay, yep. Type in this. And it takes you back now, right? So, phone spell. And then you can type in X. You got and I guess what you can do is, for example, in this page menu, is you can give it a string prefix. Right. Another way, I should just make another constructor. I should just make like a protected constructor or a private constructor even for this. This is pretty simple stuff. Right, we can just say, private string prefix. We can then say this dot prefix equals prefix. Now let me remove the in page and say that's going to be our public, or no, our private page menu. iViewable T array viewables and page. We're just going to call this for viewables and prefix, and it's going to say this dot page equals page, and that's all we'll do, right? And then I can ignore this. I can basically just copy this, paste it over here. Now I need to talk about the prefix, I guess. The prefix to add to the header of the page menu. So that we can say header is prefix, this dot prefix plus, that's easier for me. There we go. Well, I don't need to define what this does, but I could. Well, the prefix already defined here, so I can just do that. Page. The current page of this page menu instance Yeah, look at how this option setter works. It's an absolute nightmare. I did if this.add to stack, because sometimes you do want to add it. You know? And then it would be, again, type of t.name. Well, okay, let me define it once. I'd rather do that on top though. Type of t.name, just so that's more readable. There we go. And then we just carry over this.prefix. Yep. Should theoretically work. Oh, well, maybe not. I realized my audio is really loud. Give me a moment. Didn't like undo anything, did I? Also, where is it going wrong? Oh yeah, because I changed that, so now it has to change everywhere else. Yep, and then here as well will be songs found. Right? Pretty simple stuff. Yep, okay. Okay, now it should work. So we register. Right, we can do this again, logged in, we can do this. It still works, as you can see. Typed in like X, turn to main menu, works. Type this in, first found. Page 1 of 1. You could probably do it a little bit different and make this a join instead, because that would make more sense, right? I would say string.join. Well, it's like, okay, my idea is that this page thing only gets printed okay, well, I would say question mark else this dot prefix. it's going to be one of these scenarios. That's my guess, because then, you know, you don't see that whole page nonsense. And instead of doing what we did, I just say string.join given this. Right, I would say that would make more sense. And then you don't even need that syntax. So here instead, just do artist found. And then in, where was it? Register menu, or not register menu, artist menu. We do songs found, and in the actual search helper, we're also just going to say object name is found. Yep. So this should work. Really need to make an actual account I can log into. Oh, great. There we go. So, typed in this. Songs found, page 101. So that does not work. So I messed up my ternary, most likely. Something my ternary was incorrect. So this max page is equal to 1. It's equal to 0. Because it's plus 1. Keep forgetting about that. Now we gotta fill it again. Hello guys, hello. Because I don't have a valid one. So I have to do this every time. This songs found. Yeah, so you want to do this. Song, I mean, creepy, repent, motherfucker. Artists found. And then, yeah, you can go to songs. This, and you can go in this infinite loop. And at some point we're going to have to make a way so you can leave. Right? But either way, we got that to work. So, ending this, go to task, see what we've done here. Ask the user to enter a search term if it's empty, the user returns to the main menu, otherwise there's something. Well, that's correct. Log out I have not done though. If I've done that, I've at least done that. And this pretty much I've done as well. Count results. Result of the results back. And this would be not factor anymore. Well, all this is outdated at this point, but why don't I have it as page, most likely. Void next and previous, I have those. I mean, I do have view selection, I just don't know if it's virtual. No, I have select viewable. I'll just say void, select viewable. Page probably. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a weird math thing that's going on here. Basically, the page count, yeah, the current page is the page. the page and whatever was selected. So it's like when you select it, right? There's a certain index. Here we go. Yeah, each one has its own index, and the index that you select is what you get, because it only allows you to go to a certain view. So all that map is unnecessary. Yeah, so you don't even need to worry about that. Actually, yeah, it is sort of correct, because you need that. I don't know if I have it that exactly. I have results per page as a constant, and then the page you're on, obviously. And then based on that, yes, page count is this. So when we do this, we're selecting things that are in that offset. The page count plus J. Again, this is a pretty complicated working system, but it's also very simple with what it has, right? Small code. In theory, I like it, so I guess, yeah, we've done it. We've done the select people. So we already did this. I just need to make log out and then we're done. And then we've done view song. Hell yeah. Just gotta get that done. Which isn't super hard. Oh no, I haven't done it. Okay, just say user equals null. And it's not return, I guess. I don't think I have to do anything else, right? I just have to return and set the user to null, so no user is found. So like, say I logged in for the billionth time. Right? Right, I click log out. Yeah, we're back here. You can exit the program. Okay, it works. That means that task can be marked as done. And then we can actually look at the user story. For once, we can actually look at the user story. I know, crazy. Let me fill this in first. Now, blink, blink. This is... We've tested it, it's done. Which means all we have left is localization. Hell yeah, I don't have many days to do it, but still. In fact, yeah, I have tomorrow and the day after, and then I have to have it done. It's gonna be a rough time because I have shit to do, dude. But whatever. We'll make it. We'll make it. Don't worry. We'll make it. We'll make it. It's just one thing and we're good, you know? Just one thing. So, okay. Let's look at the user story here. The user can enter a search term for a song. So let me do this. Run this so that you can see this. Let's run through the things, alright? So, first let's log in with some random hello at there one. Hello at there one. Fuck off. There we go. So now we're logged in. So you just can enter a search term for a song. We're not fully done because we haven't made it actually play the audio when you select the song. So we need to update some of that stuff, right? I need to just refine that menu a whole lot. because it's not very good at the moment. But yeah, so let's say, okay, we can enter a search term, right? Like WF. I also have to change that. There's a couple like minor things I would have to change. Search term cannot be empty. I've already tested that. Use against like one of the search results on the current page. So say haunted. Yep, works. Users can also check out other pages of search results for selecting one of the last two options. Again, I have no backbone, so I'd have to restart it, but yeah, select the next and back, but I don't have that many songs, so it's not hard to test at the moment. But say I have the same test data, just some more test data everywhere, you know? Then yes, I could technically show that. Data on the song, that's correct. Nope. User can press any category return back. So that also not. Return to menu means nope. Okay, so mainly about audio and refining the menu to look better, right? That's the only thing we would need to do. But we're making it places, right? So let's go into view song, make sure it's in progress. Oh, it should have been a long time ago anyway. So okay, you've done 4 out of the 8, and then for localization is a whole nother mess. Listen, the hardest part about that is DAL. Once I get DAL done, that's not gonna be that bad. I think it's gonna be mainly refining how this looks, because I think I want to kind of have like the ID, name, release date, all of that kind of already written half up to a certain point, and then say okay, stop, right? And if you want to view the full data, you can see that data. Because we have all these things, and then we're also going to have something for play the audio, and then if you have been confirmed to have listened to the whole thing, you can then review it, which that's something we might add in the future. So only a play option is what we need to add for now. We're just going to just play it, and I need some way to cancel it. That's it. But still might take a bit, man. Might still take a minute. I have 2 days to do all of that. I don't think it's gonna happen, man. I don't think I have the time. But I'll attempt it in the next few days. Anyway, it's 10:30 p.m. so I'm gonna go now. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed.